future belongs to builders. If you're feeling nervous, good, you should be, because complacency is the fastest way to become irrelevant. It's not enough to admire India's success. It's not enough to read articles about the next Silicon Valley. You have to ask yourself, what am I building? Because the future doesn't belong to countries with the most nostalgic stories about past glory. It belongs to those who act. Let's talk about what you and America must do to stay in the race. 1. Embrace speed over perfection. You want to know why India is outpacing the US in certain sectors? Speed. While American entrepreneurs debate, perfect, and optimize, Indian founders launch. They ship imperfect products, get real-world feedback, and iterate at a velocity that leaves slower competitors in the dust. The lesson is simple. Done beats perfect, especially when the world is changing this fast. If you want to compete, you must. Reduce cycle times, get your ideas into the wild, learn from actual users. Velocity is your moat. 2. Build infrastructure. That enables innovation. America invented the internet, but in the past 2 decades, we've done almost nothing to build a comparable public digital foundation. India, meanwhile, created the India Stack, and it unlocked an entire generation of entrepreneurs. What's stopping the US from designing a modern identity system, payments rail, and API ecosystem? Nothing except a failure of imagination and will. If you want your country to lead, you must rethink public infrastructure. Invest in systems that democratize innovation. Remove friction from every transaction. The future is built on foundations. 3. Rediscover your appetite for risk. India's success is not an accident. It's the product of millions of people who took risks, quitting safe jobs, betting on unproven ideas, building in markets that looked impossible. In America, we have become so afraid of failure that we often fail to try. Failure isn't fatal. Complacency is. If you want to build, you must. Tolerate uncertainty. Celebrate experiments. Stop punishing people for taking moonshots. 4. Think in decades, not quarters. India's leap didn't happen overnight. It happened because leaders thought in decades. They invested in infrastructure, education, and policy alignment for years before the payoff arrived. In the West, too many decisions are made based on quarterly earnings or election cycles. That mindset is incompatible with building anything that lasts. If you want to create transformative change, you must play the long game. 5. Keep moving forward. The future is always under construction. Update, my work, the future is always under construction. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause while you overthink. It rewards those who build relentlessly. India understands this. The question is, do you? Conclusion, India's tech leap isn't a prediction, it's a reality. And it's a challenge to every country, company, and individual who believes they are entitled to leadership simply because they were first. No one is entitled to the future. You have to earn it by learning faster, by building more fearlessly, by embracing the chaos. The next decade will not be decided by who had the best legacy. It will be decided by who has the most courage to invent what comes next. This is your opportunity. This is your warning. This is your call to action. The silent revolution. Most people still see India as a country of call centers and cheap software outsourcing, a place you send routine tasks because it's cost effective. That picture is obsolete. I've spent my life building companies, software, rockets, AI, and I'm telling you, India has flipped the script. This is no longer about cheap labor. It's about world-changing innovation, and it's happening in ways you probably haven't heard. Let's break it down, because understanding this revolution is the first step to understanding the next decade. 1. Digital public infrastructure, the stack that changed everything. You want to know why India is moving so fast? It's because they built a digital foundation no other democracy has even attempted. It started with Aadhaar, a biometric identity system that now covers over 1 billion people. Fingerprints, iris scans, unique digital verification for almost every citizen. Most countries can't even manage voter ID. India built the largest biometric database on Earth. Then came UPI, Unified Payments Interface. In the US, we think we're advanced because we have Apple Pay or Venmo, but in India, a vegetable vendor with no formal education can accept instant digital payments with a QR code. Over 11 billion UPI transactions every month, more than the entire US population, multiplied several times over. This is not an app, it's a movement. And then there's DigiLocker, eSign, and India Stack, an ecosystem of APIs that make it possible for any entrepreneur to build fintech, edtech, or health tech services with near friction. You think it's normal to fill out paperwork, wait days for approvals, and pay fees just to open an account or register a company? India eliminated all that. This is why they're leaping ahead. They designed a public digital infrastructure that doesn't care about old institutions, it just works. 2. Mobile-first mindset, leverage at scale. While America was designing websites for desktops, India skipped that era completely. Over 700 million Indians access the internet primarily on a smartphone. That means every startup, every service, every product is designed from day one to be mobile first, low data, instantly scalable. When you combine that with the lowest data costs in the world, you have an innovation environment that looks like science fiction. Imagine building an app in a market where hundreds of millions of users can download it overnight without worrying about connectivity, storage, or price. This is why you see Indian entrepreneurs launching products that reach scale faster than any Western startup. 3. Talent density, the demographic engine. Look at the numbers. Median age in India, 28. Median age in America, nearly 40. India graduates more engineers every year than the US and Europe combined. But it's not just about quantity, it's about ambition. This generation of Indian innovators didn't grow up believing they had to move to California to build world-class products. They're staying home and they're building companies that are global from day one. India has over 100 unicorns and it's adding them faster than almost any other country on the planet. These are founders who think in billions, move at startup velocity, understand their domestic market and the West. When you mix youth, education, and a mobile-first economy, you get something unstoppable. 4. The startup flywheel, capital meets ambition. 10 years ago, you'd struggle to raise a seed round in Bangalore. And today, India has the third largest startup ecosystem on Earth. Global venture capital is pouring in because investors see the writing on the wall. Enormous consumer market, rapid adoption of tech, regulatory support. The Indian government isn't perfect, but it's made one thing clear. Tech entrepreneurship is a national priority. Contrast that with America, where innovation is often stifled by regulation and risk aversion. If you're building something transformative, you're going to go where you can move fastest. For many founders, that place is India. 5. A culture that embraces chaos. In the West, we think of disruption as a cute slogan on a coffee mug. In India, disruption is survival. Decades of navigating unreliable infrastructure, shifting regulations, and wild market swings have forged an entrepreneurial culture that is resilient, resourceful, relentless. When everything around you is in flux, you learn to adapt, or you die. This is why Indian founders can pivot faster than their Western counterparts. It's why they can endure funding winters and regulatory storms. They've been doing it for decades. So here's the truth. India didn't just catch up. They built a parallel universe where speed, scale, and ambition are the default, and the world is about to wake up to that fact.